So you want to know how to play
CYNO Hyperbloom.
Well, first you start with the builds. Now that Nahida is released from her prison, dendro teams have become much stronger and less reliant on the they work but dendro characters. CYNO benefits Nahida's release even more so as his kit relies on long durations of skill or burst from supports. In this guide, I'll be talking about one of his best Hyperbloom teams. Due to his high burst cost, CYNO needs 130 to 150 ER and an EM electro damage crit if your chosen weapon has low base attack. If you'll be using a high base attack weapon, then you'll be using attack electro damage crit. To make artifact farming a little easier, rather than getting the best 4-piece set for CYNO and his teammates, we'll be focusing on their desired stats instead. For CYNO, he can use any 2-piece of Thundering Fury, Gilded Dreams, Wanderer's Troop, Emblem, and any of the 2-piece attack sets. For weapons, you can use Staff of the Scarlet Sands and Primordial Jade Winged Spear for 5-star, and Kitane Cross Spear and Deathmatch for 4-star. However, if you have an R5 White Tassel, better use that than the 4-star option since you have to pay for Deathmatch, and R5 White Tassel actually performs better than Kitane. For his teammates, Nahida wants triple EM for her main stats. However, Elemental Mastery drops have the lowest chance of getting obtained, so even though she's a support, she can use any 2-piece of Deepwood Memories, Gilded Dreams, Wanderer's Troop, and any of the 2-piece attack sets instead. For Hydro, you can pick between xingqiu or yelan. They can use any 2-piece of HOD, Emblem, Noblesse, any of the 2-piece attack sets for xingqiu, and Tenacity of the Millelith for yelan. And finally, an Electro support like Cookie Shinobu. She also wants triple EM for her main stats. However, since she's primarily a healer, she can use HP or a healing bonus circlet instead if you don't have an EM piece. She can use a 4-piece Tenacity or a 4-piece Deepwood Memories. The rotation. Start with Nahida's skill and burst. Switch to xingqiu and use his skill and burst and skill again. Switch to Cookie and use her skill. Switch to CYNO and use his burst and skill and do normal attacks. Once the eye shows on the screen, use his skill and do normal attacks again. Do this 2 more times, but on the 3rd use of his skill, switch back to Nahida to repeat the rotation.
Committed to memory. The Temple of Wisdom.
Know my sword, Rain Cutter. Stand with me.
Your sins weigh upon your soul. Guilty. Your penance is due. Guilty.
Committed to memory.
The pros and cons. Let's start with the advantages. This team has an easy playstyle and the rotation is also pretty straightforward. They are excellent against single target enemies, since CYNO and xingqiu are single target DPS and sub DPS. You can use Cookie's burst whenever you can't dodge or need to iframe an incoming attack. Cookie Shinobu's burst isn't required in the rotation, so you can use this in case of an emergency. Now for the disadvantages. This team is average in situations where AoE is required, and even then you'll need to be good at gripping enemies without CC, since this team does not have a character that can crowd control. CYNO's resistance to interruption is kinda non-existent. Once xingqiu's burst, which also gives resistance to interruption, is over, CYNO will get easily interrupted, so dodging enemy attacks is required. And if you choose yelan instead of xingqiu, dodging is necessary. And that's it for
CYNO Hyperbloom.
I hope you liked this video. Leave any questions or suggestions you have in the comments, and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. If you have any teams you'd like me to make a video on, also leave them in the comments. See you in another video!